People always ask me why I have a mannequin, and it's a hard question for me to answer because I don't really know why I have a mannequin. I remember getting my mannequin. I remember wandering through a dimly lit mannequin warehouse. I remember carrying him up a broken escalator, but I don't really remember why. There was no real purpose behind it. I was just a guy who didn't have a mannequin, and I wanted to be a guy who had a mannequin. And if you're watching this video, you probably know what it's about, and you can probably guess where I'm going with this. Right now, I'm a guy who hasn't ridden a motorcycle from Alaska to New Jersey. And I want to be a guy who has done that. I mean, how hard could it possibly be?
Starting to feel like maybe the part of the trip where something bad is gonna happen.
Remember last night when I said I wasn't gonna push it today?
These pieces fell out when it happened.
I might be able to get back to the road and beg for help. I think I finally fell asleep at 2 or 3 after getting in after midnight, because it was 75 degrees in the sleeping pod when I got here. And it has increased to 84. It is starting to get light out, so I think I might just strike out and start looking for that goddamn motorcycle. Alright, it's Friday morning, and I need to find a motorcycle by Sunday night so that I can leave on Monday. And among the many inconvenient things about my accommodation, one of them is it does not have Wi-Fi. So I'm on the hunt for a coffee shop so that I can look on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and wherever else to try to find a bike for cheap to ride home. So this was supposed to be the part where I built up a bunch of suspense about if I'm gonna find a motorcycle and check out a bunch of them, and none of them are quite right. But I basically immediately found a motorcycle that I could not resist. And you know you've made an interesting choice when the seller tries to actively convince you not to buy his bike.
You're going to abuse your body. Yeah, I definitely take it for a test drive though before you commit. It'll beat you up pretty good.
So I might even be trying to come by in the rain today if it's possible.
Okay, yeah, come on over. Bring your helmet and your gloves.
One bus ride and a trip to the DMV later, and I was pretty pleased with myself. For a serious journey such as this, you need a serious motorcycle. Maybe some people would say a Goldwing, a big cruiser, an adventure bike, something with luggage, wind protection, a reputation of reliability. Well, I've been in Alaska for less than 24 hours and I've got a bike that has none of those. Ta-da! You are looking at a 1990 BMW K. Is that guy gonna yell at me for being here? Nope, looks like he doesn't give a shit. K75C? S? It has a letter at the end. And the K75 is a particularly famous motorcycle, often called the Flying Brick, because it sucks ass. It's quite slow to get going with a 750cc engine that somehow makes no power. It weighs 1,000,000 pounds, and the only thing it's worse at than going is stopping, which I can say from experience is fucking scary. However, the K75 does have a cult following, and fans of the K75 will tell you this does not look like a K75, and that is because this one has been custom hacked to shit to be some sort of scrambler, cafe racer thingy. And all that was done by some guy named Walter. I met up with Walter earlier today to play with his dog and go for a test ride. And let me tell you, on my way over, I was sure that Walter was a professional. When he started the motorcycle and it immediately shut off repeatedly, I was not shaken.
13 volts, which is correct. It should be around 14 volts. This has got a switch for the light.
Why is it cutting out? Choke too low?
Oh, I think it just...
And when I checked the oil level and found out there was basically no oil in it when we did the test ride, I still didn't stop believing in Walter. Walter built this bitch, and I'm riding it to New Jersey.
we have a custom seat that I assume he fabricated himself. These little pad thingies. The whole thing's had the fairings removed, the frame is painted, it's aftermarket exhaust. He made this bag and this bag custom. He replaced all the fluids allegedly, apparently except the oil. Swapped out the rear shock. I think these are the stock bars, definitely the stock controls, but this is an aftermarket display here for the RPM and time and all that good stuff. Aftermarket windscreen. All of the lighting has been replaced with LED, and he attached this. A KTM 890 fender that wobbles like a motherfucker when you go more than 20 miles an hour. There are many other strange and unique quirks on this motorcycle, and I'll explain those as we go for a test ride.
All right, now that I'm on the bike, I can point out some other weird stuff about it, like the fact that it has a choke, despite the fact that it's fuel injected. So the choke is basically just like another throttle. Also, the way the turn signals work is like, this is left turn, this is right turn, and then this is cancel. And it's very disorienting when I'm used to like, kind of like a thing like this. It's just like back and forth, and then usually you like push it in to cancel it. Other than that, it's pretty standard dash, other than all the stuff that doesn't work. Like the guy hooked up the high beam and low beam backwards. So low beam is high beam and high beam is low beam. You can turn on and off the lights at least. The gear indicator completely does not work. There's like a little number here that means nothing. And yeah, other than that, I think it's pretty much fine. I like it. It's very cool. It's very pretty. And it's really comfy. Like this seat that this guy made, I followed over. This seat this guy made is like a couch. Look at that. I've never ridden a motorcycle this comfortable before. On the highway, it does feel like you're holding onto a horse falling off a waterfall, but like just sitting on it is nice. It feels sluggish. It feels sluggish and heavy, like underpowered and overweight, just like Yo Mama. As I'm shifting through the gears here, I'm reminded another weird thing about this bike. It is a 5-speed, which, given that it already is pretty down on power, makes it not great on the highway, which will be basically the whole trip. Oh yeah, and this thing's already got 37,000 miles on it, so hopefully it's got another 6,000 or 7,000 miles before it explodes or needs major service at least.
A few moments later.
Well, I'm at the side of the road right now because this little thing came out of my brake and now it doesn't brake anymore. I'm trying to see if I can just kind of fiddle it back in and maybe it will not come out again. Well, the brakes work again, but that's fucking terrifying. What the I mean, that could have been just like random, or I mean, that could fall out 100 more times before I get home. And the front brakes are ass. So if I lose the back brakes unexpectedly. Okay, I made it back to the pod hostel, and I think I figured out the problem. There's like, see this little wiggly guy? Hold on. See how that wiggles? When we push the brake, they come together and then you activate the brake. So like, this is how it comes out. It's like, see how much extra room there is here? And there's this bolt here, which controls how far back this is allowed to go. So I think all we need to do is turn that a few turns so that it's already this far out, and then lock the lock nut. Might be okay. You can tell this isn't tight because I can literally turn it with my finger. Add a few turns. I could not get the lock nut that tight, but there's no more play in the brake lever, and this thing seems marginally less jiggly. I also threw some thread locker in there, so hopefully it doesn't back out again, and I'll just make a note to obsessively check on it. Alright, it's freaking freezing out, but I got this one-piece undersuit that will hopefully insulate me enough that I do not perish. Hopefully just keep me warm. So I randomly decided to try the horn, and it does not horn. And I actually just had this problem on my dirt bike, and a little WD-40 in the switch fixed it. So I'm gonna try that.
For breakfast, I enjoyed a local Alaskan delicacy called the Flaming Hot Cheetos Burger, and then I set off to adventure. And then the bike immediately killed itself. And I was trying everything to get it going. I tried turning the key on and off. I tried putting the kickstand up and down. I even tried looking around helplessly, which shockingly did not work. But then I finally remembered that this bike has a choke on it.
So it turns out that this choke lever is not a complete misnomer, because if it is too low, especially if the bike is cold, it will kill itself and not come back. So I'm learning.
I was so excited to finally be exploring, and I saw so much insane shit. Cue the music! No, cue the good music.
That's pretty cold.
Is this the Pacific Ocean?
I've definitely never touched the Pacific Ocean before.
I don't know what this is though. This could be a lake. Or like an inlet. After a decent amount of exploring, I found somewhere very pretty. And they forgot to pave the roads here. I was a little bit worried that the bike would like rattle itself to pieces on a dirt road, but I figured it was better to find that out now than in a couple days when I'd be hundreds of miles from civilization. And once I got to the top, it was totally worth.
Well, I found this, what doesn't look like a hike, but I saw two people coming down it who had evidently given up on making it to the top. So I'm gonna try to get up there, I guess. I mean, you can't beat the view. It's fucking insane. It's really steep.
All right, I'm taking a break.
It's like I'm doing
Like huge squats every step. It's so steep. I don't know why those guys gave up though. Like, it's not that slippery. Like, and even if you slip, I mean, maybe you slide down.
slides are for babies. So this is the part where you don't want to fall, because the walking is narrow and the falling is far. Very far.
View's getting pretty sweet. Look at that lake. That lake.
I think we're peaking, dude. I think we're peaking. Up to the tippy top. Oh, don't fall off of that. Oh, that's really scary. Oh my God. Well, tippy top, bitch.
And if you thought getting up here was annoying, getting down was somehow so much worse.
All right, I can see why the old men didn't want to do this. And I'm down. And I'm back up again. Where? Is there a part you're supposed to walk on?
feel like I'm fucking snowboarding.
The ride back down was obscenely gorgeous, and I was starting to get pretty comfortable riding on non-pavement with this bike. And while we're enjoying this insane view on the ride down, I can tell you about the next place we're going, which is a place called Whittier, Alaska. The only reason I really wanted to go there is because in order to get there, you have to go through the longest combined highway rail tunnel in North America. It's like 2.5 miles long and takes like 5 minutes to go through. And it is an incredibly specific blankiest blank to be, but for some reason, I like that. And it's a good thing that I really liked that tunnel, because after driving like 2 hours to get here, there is nothing here. So I just got a sticker for my helmet and went back through the tunnel. And then there was nothing left to do but load up the bike so I could head out in the morning. And this was honestly one of the biggest unknowns of the trip. When I left, I had no idea what bike I would end up getting, so I just brought the most generic luggage I had and hoped for the best. And between the stuff that I brought and all the extra straps and the fact that this bike just happened to have a bag on it already, came out pretty good.
All right, I still need to zip tie up all the loose ends, but I got camera stuff, tools, just a bunch of random shit, sleeping bag, tent, and then stuff that I will probably not need but have space for because this bike happened to come with a bag in here. And she's loaded up. And she's a little bit warbly, not very well balanced. I have a feeling when I get on the highway, I will not have to worry about having this much stuff anymore.
Well, the bike was all loaded up and I was leaving in the morning, so the only thing left to do is the thing I'd been procrastinating for 4 entire days since I got to Alaska. I had to use the pod hostel shower.
All right, it's about 6 a.m. Just starting to lighten up out. Been having the nervous boops all morning while I loaded up the bike again. And it's time to set out. It has occurred to me that I probably should have loaded up the bike like far enough in advance that I could have done a little ride, a shakedown ride with all the luggage on. But I guess we're doing that for keeps. Add some choke because we learned our lesson. Starts right up. It's a beauty. Alright, I think we're navigating. I did have the forethought to download an offline maps app. Hopefully it works when I have no service. I guess I still need GPS, but surely I'll have GPS.
The first thing I'm noticing here is that this luggage is not on straight. The side that has this extra bag is definitely more like up. So I'm not able to sit quite flat in the seat because the luggage is also significantly encroaching on the seating area, though not so much to make it uncomfortable. I mean, I imagine maybe after many hours it would get uncomfortable, but what am I going to do? Ride many hours? And speaking of which,
For some reason, when I booked the accommodations for this trip, I thought I was starting in Fairbanks, but then when I actually flew out, I flew to Anchorage. So what should have been a 6-hour ride for day one is now like 9.5 hours.
So, whoopsie daisy. Should, however, be a good sort of proof of concept for the rest of the trip, because if I survive today, then I know I'll be good for the rest of the trip. I know I was kind of shitting on this bike before, but I honestly really do like it. I think the styling is super cool. I think it's very cool that it was made by Mr. Walter, and it's pretty fun to ride. Like it definitely feels like a cruiser. I think this bike technically was a sport bike, like in its sort of heyday, but it's just like the seating position, very relaxed, very comfortable. It's powerful enough to get you along, and I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a vibe.
And with that, my adventure has actually begun. I stopped in the first town for some tea and some gas, and then I was just headed into the wilderness. And I don't know that I'll ever be able to truly convey how remote it was and how crazy it felt, like looking at the mountains in the distance and being like, oh yeah, I gotta go past that. And that's like the first 1% of this journey. And I quickly realized that I was not prepared.
It's so cold. Finally found a place that I could stop. I'm pretty much wearing all of my thermal shit, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I could put on pants and a face covering, but my torso is fucking cold. Extra warm fuzzy socks. And rain pants. Even putting on my glove liners. So apparently only one of my heated gloves was charged up. I have a feeling the power button got bumped in transit. I should have not connected the battery. I realize that now. Still 7 hours left.
I was feeling much better after getting the rest of my thermals on, and it even started to get kind of sunny, which is good because I would need that extra light to fix the bike again.
Well, the brake thing happened again. It seems to always happen like when I stop somewhere. So I'm just gonna fix it the same way as last time. Fortunately not killed me yet. All right, there's a fuck ton of Loctite in there now. Though I'm worried, I'm now at like the limit of the adjustment on this screw. So I think maybe I have to start adjusting this one, and maybe that's backing out too? Unclear. I'm not also sure if I want to bother with the lock nut, seeing as it's clearly doing nothing. I should probably do it. All right, brakes have been fixed again. I had water, motorcycle had gas. It's getting pretty nice and warm out. I took off most of my thermals, and we're back on the road.
After the brakes failed for a second time on the first day of the journey, the risk of what I was undertaking started to really set in, and I approached the rest of the day with a real sense of somber seriousness.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stop!
Okay, maybe I wasn't taking things that seriously. I was just vibing out, looking at the crazy views, enjoying some pretty fall colors. The road turned into gravel, didn't care. I got stuck waiting for a bunch of construction and was getting swarmed by mosquitoes, didn't care. And before I knew it, I was crossing the Canadian border, which for some reason had nobody, guarding it. And immediately afterwards, I saw a freaking bear in the middle of the road. The roads really only got worse from there, which was extra exciting when cars would come in the other direction and reduce the visibility to basically nothing. But fortunately, as the sun was setting, I finally made it to camp.
Well, I'm really in the middle of nowhere now, so this is dinner, but I did get a sweet new sticker for the helmet. God, I suck at applying these stickers. I have no patience, I just want them to be on. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but the helmet is so covered in bugs. This is my view of the beautiful views that you've been seeing in pristine HD. It's gross. I went back up to the front desk place to get a can opener, and the lady brings me out this little 2 slices of bread saran wrap. She said, "My husband said I charged you too much for your cookie, so I'm giving you some bread." So cute. Well, I am in no rush to leave today. Easily the coldest it's been so far. Just under 40 degrees. And I only have 6 hours of riding today. Yesterday was 9 hours, and it felt long, but I think 6 hours will be pretty easy, and I should get in well before sunset. Also trying to wait to leave until at least some of my neighbors are awake, because everybody here is really old and my motorcycle is so loud. And I think they will all die of heart attacks if I leave while they're sleeping.
Well, I waited as long as I could for the old people to wake up, and eventually I had to just fire up the bike and ride through the middle of camp like an asshole. I guess I didn't have to ride through the middle of camp. And I was really enjoying the riding today. The views were insane, and the roads were like the perfect amount of shitty where they're like exciting to ride on, but you don't have to go super slow. But I was getting fed up with constantly having to stop.
I'm stuck at more construction, and I'm too damn hot in all my thermal shit now that I'm not moving, but I don't want to take it off because as soon as I start moving, I'll get cold again.
At this point, I still hadn't seen a single gas station since I got to Canada, so I was extremely relieved when I finally found one.
This gas station is literally just like a pump and a tank in an open field. And then you like come over this little hut, and it's like a ATM guy, you buy the gas. I did it.
With a tank full of fuel and an actually paved road, I started to get kind of bored. And there was literally no side streets on this whole road, but there were lots of very enticing looking trails.
You know, obviously I gotta go in the water. It's probably really cold. Ooh. That's brisk. Oh, it stays so shallow for so long. This is so awesome. I had planned to stop at some point today and talk about how special it is to be on a motorcycle adventure and be like, have like a destination every day and packing and unpacking the motorcycle and dealing with all the mechanical issues. But like, this is a whole different beast. This is like, look at this. I rode my motorcycle right up to the shore. There's not another human being or sound of motors or anything for a billion miles. I need to dry my feet before I get frostbite. That is really cold. I'm just... All right, with that crisis averted, yeah, I'm just feeling really, really good today. Like day one, kind of long, kind of a slog. It's kind of like just anxious to get going and see what the roads are going to be like, but I feel insanely good. I do at some point in this trip want to do a full body cold plunge, but I do not think this is the spot, seeing as there would be nowhere to go to get warm again.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Okay, I'm struggling with impulse control right now. I found there was, like, right next to where I parked, somebody has the remnants of a fire. So I think it would be safe to cold plunge if I can get this fire going again. And then I just run in, dip my body in, run out, dry off, and sit by the fire for a minute. And there's cars coming by every 5 or 10 minutes, so if I did get into a really bad way, I might be able to get back to the road and beg for help. Let's see how the fire goes. It's just cold. It's just cold. Whew. I have to get deep enough in that there's a submergible amount of water. Okay. Whew. That's brisk. Come on. Up to the neck. Control your breathing. Nope. Nope. That's too cold. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna die. Whew.
Whew. I don't know how I'm gonna include this in the video without just showing my dick to everybody. That was awesome. So worth. There's ducks. Are the ducks in the shot? Or probably ducks. I'm sitting here, naked as the day I was born. And I don't know if I've ever been happier in my entire life. I've got the nice little fire keeping me toasty. My balls are out. This is why you eat food and sleep and drink water and stuff. So you don't die. So you can do this. Now that I was done having like the best experience of my whole life, I started the bike up. And headed back to the road. And I kid you not, like 10 seconds later, I got easily the best views of the trip so far. I swear I'm trying to make progress, but I had to stop. Like, it's sand. I was skinny dipping 5 miles ago and I rounded a corner and it was this. It's like beach sand. It's like finer than beach sand. I'm almost tempted to try to ride in it, but I've ridden in the sand before on bikes that don't weigh half as much as that. And I haven't seen a person in a while and I might need some help pushing. This is awesome.
As I continued on, I made sure to stop every time I saw someone that might need help because I knew eventually I would need help, so I was trying to get some karma.
Are you okay? Just making sure you're all good.
Oh yeah, I'm okay, man. Let's go to my buddy, well, to my place. And
all right, cool.
It's just around the corner, but
all right.
I'll be all right. Thank you very much.
After some more sweet mountain views, I arrived at my extremely shady-looking accommodations for the evening. And the further in I got, the less hopeful I was that this was going to be where I was staying tonight.
Sit-rep. I just arrived at what I thought was my accommodations. It seems abandoned. No one's at the motel office. I knocked. I can't call or text them because there's shockingly no service here. I guess I just have to keep going south and see when the next place is. It's only 5:30, so I'd be more than happy to do another 3 hours on the road.
So yeah, there was really nothing to do but leave the way I came in and keep heading down to the next town, which was mercifully close.
And I'm in a town that has rooms, but I think I'm gonna try to get another 3 hours south because there's a thing I want to do tomorrow that if I were to do it from here, that'd be like a 12-hour day. So if I cheat a little, do an extra 3 hours to the next town, then tomorrow's like a normal day. However, I'm gonna be arriving in this unknown town without a room booked at like 10 p.m. And a lot of these places seem to be not thoroughly staffed. But it's like, it's a biggish town. It must be like 8 places there. So I think either I'll find a room or I'll sleep on the street like a hobo. Or maybe camp. I have a tent. I mean, it'd be cold, but I have a sleeping bag.
With that foolproof plan in hand, I pushed on until I needed gas again.
About halfway to the town I'm trying to get to, and I pulled into this gas station just to like stop and get warm for a second. And I was pretty sure it was closed, and then this like little old lady came over. She was like, "Do you need some gas?" And she's like, "I turned the pumps back on just for you." So now I have gas, so I definitely have enough gas to get to the next town, which is good. We shall see if that town has a place for me to sleep. This place is also allegedly a motel, but I'm not giving up yet. I want to get closer.
Stop it. Get some help.
And I left that gas station full of hope. And then it got darker. And darker. And darker. and darker until
I had to stop because it's getting dark and my fucking Amazon special replacement headlight that this guy put on this thing does nothing. So I gotta clean my visor of all the bugs. I gotta clean this thing of all the bugs and hopefully be able to see. It's like 15 minutes left to the town. Really hoping that somebody will let me sleep somewhere. This is starting to feel like maybe the part of the trip where something bad is gonna happen.
And with my hastily spit-shined gear, I started up the bike. And headed out into the darkness. With no idea how far it was to get to civilization, or indeed, even if there would be civilization to find. For all I know, it was just more abandoned motels and closed gas stations. Yes, my fate was sealed. I was heading into death, into doom. There was nothing that could save me at this point. You might as well just stop watching the film because I'm gonna die. You're gonna see a human man, a grown adult, perish in front of you. Put me in my Sunday clothes and pack me in a box because my fate is sealed. There's nothing that can save me. Oh, the place was actually like 100 meters down the road. I never doubted for a single second. Were you doubting for a single second that I would find somewhere to stay tonight? I am willing to admit I did cut it a little bit close. Because it's possible that there was nothing in the town. My phone is dead. All of the cameras except this one is dead, and this one's about to die. So interestingly, today was supposed to be the horribly long, there's no way I'm gonna make it day. But I just decided to do that yesterday for some reason. If I'd stayed at the original accommodation, it would have been like a 12-hour day. But now it's fine. Now it's about 8 hours. There's like a whole bit where you have to like go like 2 hours away and then 2 hours back. And then it's like 4 hours to the destination. So worked out pretty good. Time to load up the bike and head out. It feels like I've been on the road for so long. And it's the dawn of the third day. Up until now, I'd been headed pretty much straight south, but today I was headed straight east. And if you know which side of the earth the sun rises on, you'll know I was riding straight into the sun, and it was not fun. Fortunately, it wasn't too long before I stumbled across our first point of interest for the day.
This is Signpost Forest, and it's just stuffed to the gills with signs. And it's huge, like, they keep going. They've got a Hillary Clinton. They must like sell signs nearby. There's so many of these like actual metal signs that just say like, I drove up here, I went here. Casey's camping road trip. Fucking Skippy and Muffy were here. This is Carol and Frank's Alaska adventure. I love all these custom ones. 3,000 miles. Fucking lightweights.
I'm not gonna lie, I spent a while running around and looking at all the fun signs, but eventually it was time to get back on the road, and after reattaching my luggage that I forgot to clip in, I was riding. And I was immediately greeted by bison warning signs, which was sweet, because bison was the only animal left on our wildlife checklist. And before I knew it, I was at our second destination of the day.
Hello.
I wasn't really sure what to expect from the Liard, whatever, these hot springs that are on the Alcan Highway. But I never swam in a hot spring before, and I was not about to pass up that opportunity. Also didn't realize that it would be basically just a public bath, but it was very nice. So nice, in fact, that I stayed here for a while. Like, I was soaking. And then I did a little bit of exploring.
Secret tunnel. I don't know if I'm still in the hot spring. It's getting a little chilly. And it's getting very shallow. Well, I found the end of the water. No one's over here. And this is cold. That's cold. It's like
Not quite like chili dip cold over here, but it like, you can like feel it mixing. Like, I don't know if you can see on camera, but there's like steam over there. And then basically ice cold water coming in over here. And then it like kind of mixes in your loins. And my loins like it.
And then I checked the time and realized that I had a teeny problem.
Well, I think I might have enjoyed that too much, because now, best case scenario, I get to my next accommodation at like 8. That's assuming I get gas in 0 seconds and don't eat for the rest of the day. Whoops.
After a walk of shame back to the bike, I got all my gear back on and got back on the road. And I was still keeping an eye out for bison, but honestly, I was kind of losing hope, so as revenge for the bison not appearing for me, I had a delicious bison burger at a local gas station.
I'm at another middle of nowhere gas station. I got another sticker.
And just when I'd given up all hope, I saw those beautiful hairy bastards. And after going basically back to where I started the day, I turned off the Alcan Highway and started going south on what was easily my favorite road of the trip so far. And just when I thought I was never gonna see a building again, I found a town and stopped in for some water, some gas, and some sweet views.
This has got to be one of the most thoroughly destroyed bathrooms. Look at the wall. Look at the floor. The sink's about to be a free man.
It somehow did not occur to me that as I go south, it will get dark sooner. And somehow still get cold as shit as soon as the sun is not in your eyes. It's freezing. Nearly there. Got like, I don't know, I don't want to check. Small amount of time, hopefully, left.
I probably should have checked how long we had to go, because not long after that, the road turned into not road at the same moment that my phone died. And I'm not gonna lie, this long-ass day was starting to weigh on me.
I just got gas. I'm pretty sure I'm almost there. I'm seeing signs literal signs that bode well. But I'm eating my Rice Krispie treat because I'm getting hangry. I'm supposed to be on vacation.
Poetically, the day ended the same way it started, with me somehow still having to shield my eyes from the sun. And fortunately, not long after that, I made it to camp. And camp was nice.
Man, I am lucking out with these accommodations. I booked all of them purely based off of their physical location. And this is nice. Well, my wallet's in there now. Okay. I think I can actually use the camera thing to coax it towards the edge. I swear to God, if I drop this in there too. Nope, it can't reach anymore. Back. Oh wait, I can stick it in. Back here.
That's what she said! Michael!
Come with me, and you'll be my fucking wallet. That's gotta be close enough for me to reach from the bottom, right? I just heard the stick rolling somewhere. Hopefully Okay. I got my papers. I got my stick. I got my wallet. I think I have my keys. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's fine. Look at that. I have 2 new stickers. Got one from Dee's Lake. I don't know why it's called that, but I like that it's kind of like
These nuts. Got him! Got him!
So the sticker helmet is coming along pretty nice. Pretty nice. Tomorrow I'm gonna take it easy, get in nice and early, and just kind of enjoy whatever the accommodation is.
The next morning, I realized that this place was even more beautiful than I thought, and there was multiple other film crews there that I creepily filmed.
Who films the filmers?
Oh, and I met a dog.
You're such a good boy. Yeah. What, do you want to play?
And then it was time to load up and suit up again.
I'm increasingly dreading putting on all this frickin' gear every day. I was like walking around the room like, what else can I do to get ready to go? And literally the only thing left here is all my thermal shit. Becoming the damn Michelin man every day. Just so I can survive.
Honestly, the views were still gorgeous and the roads were pretty nice, but it was just really feeling like so much more of a slog than the first couple days. I was getting really tired of passing trucks and waiting at construction and just feeling kind of burnt out. And while I was stopped for some gas and a snack, I think I figured out why.
So I think I figured out why the past day and a half or so has been so extra draining. I think it's because the Alcan was so wide and like had the trees cut so far back, you had really good visibility. But here the road's so much more narrow and the trees are like right up against it, so you have like no visibility and you have to be like really focused because you can't like see everything for 100 miles, something could dart out at any second. And it's exhausting.
It was shortly after this revelation that I decided if I was going to be exhausted anyway, I might as well earn it. Remember last night when I said,
tomorrow I'm going to take it easy, get in nice and early?
Well, that was before I kept passing all these incredibly seductive dirt roads, and how can I do a trip all the way from Alaska to New Jersey without hitting some extremely remote rural trail riding or whatever's over there? I don't know. I haven't actually gone up there yet, so I don't know what's there. Well, here we go!
Now, this isn't actually as crazy as it might sound. This bike is supposed to be a scrambler. It's got a dirt bike fender on it. It's got a skid plate, though the exhaust is unprotected. Like, that's what a scrambler is. You take a cruiser or something and you put a bunch of protection on it and you take it off-road. It's only got 6 inches of ground clearance, which is not great, but this trail doesn't look like it's going to get too rocky.
Another one of this bike's weird quirks is the clutch pulls the kickstand up. This way? I'm immediately fucking lost. I went the wrong way. Definitely not a bike you want to be turning around in the woods. I would absolutely dread doing a kickstand turn on this thing because the kickstand looks like it's going to snap just with the luggage on it. My main concern on these roads is just clapping the suspension too hard, because I feel like that could cause something to break. I don't really know how that works, but probably not healthy. Ooh, the back end loves to slide out, but it's pretty fun. It's not that fun. Oh, my ass! Oh, holding that bitch up. She heavy. Oh, look at that. mean, you can't beat that. It may have power lines, but it's still pretty nice. Oh yeah, there could be bears, right? I don't want to meet a bear today. Okay, that's a lie. But I know I shouldn't meet a bear today. I think this is where we cut our losses. Okay, I lied. I'm gonna peek over this hill just to see if anything looks really fun on the other side. Oh, it go down.
It don't go down.
Oh, I might not be able to turn around if it go down like this.
Just goes around the corner.
We are going down.
Oh!
All right, bike check-in. Yeah, it looks okay. My main concern was the luggage was gonna come off, but everything seems to be here. Brake still seems to work. Look at me. So responsible. Ugh. Come on. There she goes. We're all over the place on the hill. Yes, sir, we sideways. Oh, God. Could it be the street? I'm alive.
I was feeling quite empowered by the fact that I went into the dirt with this garbage bike and managed to come back alive, and I spent pretty much the whole rest of the day stopping at every single opportunity I could to go off-road. And I forgot to mention this while I was out there, but one of the other things that makes this bike not totally unrideable off-road is the fact that it has pretty knobby tires, so at least I have some grip.
Oh, she's bumpy. Oh, I don't know what those noises are, but they don't sound healthy. I see water. Whoa. That's just water. It would appear to be a boat launch. Very tempting, but no.
And I was being careful and occasionally checking to make sure all my stuff was still there.
Okay. It's not what the suspension likes. This is slimy. Oh, that's not good. Nice and easy. Oh, God.
It's possible that I may have gone too far down this trail, but I'm getting pretty hungry. And all I have is this water and this message from our sponsor. Huel, the only meal as autistic as you are. And it tastes great, too. Like Maulbeck is not actually sponsored by Huel. Huel is a registered trademark of Huel Limited. Side effects of Huel include fullness, increased hotness, and sometimes vomiting. Pre-made Huel is actually pretty good, but the shaker bottle stuff is gross. Opinions expressed in this film are for comedic purposes only and do not represent Huel or Huel Limited. Please drink responsibly.
There's a little critter, and he flies, and he makes like a clicking noise. Where did he go? Oh, I almost stepped on you. Do the click. Do the click thing. Pretty cool.
After that, I decided I was pretty much done with the off-roading, which worked out well because afterwards I saw the craziest thing. A soccer field. And the soccer field was attached to a real town with like houses and stop signs and stuff. This was the first remotely normal seeming town that I'd seen since I left Alaska. And it wasn't long after that I was like passing through towns with multiple stores. So I figured I should stop and get a proper souvenir for the trip.
I got another sticker and a little bear Christmas ornament. I always want to start getting more cute ornaments. I have like a generic set and it's just so daunting because I don't want to have just like one cool ornament. But like, it's one of those things where you just gotta start. And getting a bear on my trip to Alaska feels quite appropriate. And like it will bring me much joy for many Christmases to come. Assuming I survive the trip home.
Being back in something that resembled civilization was really making me feel like I had kind of accomplished my goal. Seemed like everything after this point would probably just be easy. But I soon had a solemn reminder that even on roads in civilization, things can still go wrong.
Hey buddy, you can't park there. Hey buddy, you can't park there.
Fortunately, that wouldn't be my fate today because we were pretty much immediately at the motel for the night.
It's so friggin' hot. Still wearing this goddamn thermal onesie.
Almost got the good room.
Well, it's maybe not as much of a vibe as some of the other accommodations, but it's clean, smells nice, and I bet there's a shower. There is!
Well, I'm forcing myself to walk around just to get the road stiffness off. And the irony is not lost on me that the first day that I actually have time when I get to my destination is a day where the destination is ass. All those beautiful lakeside cabins and sitting in the shadows of the mountains, all of that lost, gone, bye-bye. Now I have, we got a train track, pretty cool. Saw a train go by, I love the train.
The next day.
All right, I want to give the bike a once-over before I head out today, seeing as I thrashed it off-road all day yesterday. Well, I put 30 PSI when I left Anchorage, and there's only 26 left. And I'm going to do 32 this time, just because the bike's so loaded up. Should also help get some more mileage out of these tires, because there are many thousands of miles to go. Well, we are burning oil, but not nearly as much as I would have expected, given that it was bone dry when I got my hands on it. These old K-bikes are known to burn oil because the engine is mounted sideways, so when you kick them over after they've been sitting overnight, the like piston hole thingies are all full of oil and it burns oil. BMW actually ships them with a center stand in addition to the kickstand, but Walter elected to remove that because he didn't like the vibes. So mine just burns oil every day, but not that bad. I'm excited to ride without all my extra thermal shit on now that it's getting a little warmer. It's a little chilly this morning, but should be okay. I fully loaded the bike when I was wearing all my thermal stuff, so now I've got it like strapped to random spots because there's no room in any of my bags. But hopefully she holds in case I need them again.
I immediately needed them again, so I pulled over and put them on extremely gracefully. And as I was riding through the morning, I noticed that everything just looked kind of weird. And then I stopped in an extremely appropriately named town and found out that apparently this was all like wildfire smoke, which also explained why I kept coughing, so I put my neck covering over my face for the rest of the day and then almost ran out of gas.
It's pretty smoky. I was sure I was gonna run out of gas. I was like trying to push it a little more now that the gas stations are closer together, and I may have pushed it too much. It's a 5-gallon tank. Cutting it real close out here.
And honestly, nothing else really happened all day. There was some decent riding, but it was pretty much just smoky until I got to my accommodation.
I think I have a room for tonight here.
No.
Okay, now I actually got to my accommodation.
I have a room tonight, I think.
This is for one night, right?
Yep. Well, at least I can see my motorcycle.
After a day with much less excitement than usual, I was finally able to gather my thoughts on the bike.
The bike's running great. It's super smooth up to like 75, and then once you start getting towards like 85, it starts giving you the... new problem today, the weird clutch lever pulls the kickstand up thing has stopped working. And I look down there, it looks like maybe something's just getting loose, like there's a bunch of adjustment screws down there and the linkage for it. Not a feature that I'm particularly attached to, so I don't really care.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious. Certain elements can only be recognized as foreshadowing after the fact.
This was easily the least annoying unpacking of the bike I'd had so far, partially because I was just getting more efficient at it, and also obviously because of the extremely short commute.
Well, there's no two ways about it. Today was boring, even with all the wildfire smoke. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting pretty worried about my audience retention. You signed up to see me go on a goofy adventure full of danger and excitement and hilarious bits, and today had nothing. But I'm gonna make it up to you. Looking for a that I can affix to my motorcycle like a
Suction cups.
The sun looks crazy because of the forest fire smoke. I can like look right into it. Barely even burns. I've got you a present. You're welcome.
The next morning, I was excited to get on the road, so I made sure Peter was also excited. Then I headed out, grabbed some gas, and since I was in Canada, I hit up Tim Hortons for breakfast, which apparently I was pretty excited about.
I'm feeling pretty caffeinated. I've actually not been drinking coffee this whole trip because I've been becoming a bit of a tea girly. So I think today was the perfect day to break my fast because I am real road weary. This place is called 100 Mile House, which is weird because they don't use miles here, but I think it's called that because it's 100 miles to the border. I guess we will see. Also, people keep coming up and taking pictures of the dong on the motorcycle.
And with that, me and my new companion were on the road.
My hands are so cold. At the Tim Hortons earlier, this dude came up to me who was like, it's a cold one today. And I was like, yeah, just my luck. Finally far enough south that it could be warm. And it just randomly decides to be cold. Surprised Peter's still on here. I really thought he was gonna immediately fall off.
Oh, and then I got to see another train.
I love train.
It's literally coming round the mountain. Train. I don't even know when it will end. Does it end? Does it just go all the way around the world? I am determined to see the butt of this train. There it is. It's the end. Finally. Bye-bye, train. I love you.
It's starting to warm up just as the coffee is hitting my brain, and I'm so wired for this trip right now. I feel good. I'm ready to ride. I saw a train. Life is good.
And I'm glad I got to enjoy that train because not long after, I was stopped at yet another piece of construction, though I can't really complain about the view. Eventually we were freed from construction and the terrain started to get much more woodsy, and I figured it was a good time to stop for lunch.
Dear God, they actually did it. They made fetch happen. Man, the riding up here is insane. Roads are nice and twisty, gorgeous views, kind of heavy traffic, but honestly everyone's going fast enough that I don't even really mind it. And I finally got a sticker after a long sticker drought. And I finally applied a sticker, I think, with no bubbles. And it's a cube. They had cubes and they had octopuses. It was a difficult choice. So I noticed that the weird thing where the clutch pulls in the kickstand stopped working, and I assumed it was like one of the little adjustment things at the bottom. But then I was looking at the clutch, and there's like a bunch of loose wires in there. These pieces fell out when it happened, and I hope that that's all of them. All right, so I got the cable out. I just need to figure out how this all fits together. There's two cables. I assume one of them is the clutch, and one of them is the release thingy for the kickstand. So maybe I'll twist this back together. Okay, forget braiding it. I'm just gonna try to get it back through this fucking hole. This hole is so narrow. Take this out. You put it around.
Bring it around town.
And then
you do this, then this, and this, then that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and that.
I somehow lost the giant fucking screw thingy that goes into the handle thingy. Where could it have gone? Oh, found it. Unrelated. Managed to smash my phone just now as well. All right, I've got this bit reassembled. I just have to figure out how to make it go in there. Okay, after much cursing and violence, I got it to this state where it seems reassembled. Well, it looks assembled, but there's not enough room in this hole for the wires and the little stick. So I must have done something wrong? Well, I think I've figured out what I'm supposed to do, but the wire is so frayed that I just I'm trying so hard and I just can't get it. I saw someone in the gas station next door has a bike in the back of his pickup truck, and I asked him if he'd come over and take a look at it, and it's looking like he might. So, assuming this one's not frayed beyond repair, hopefully he's got some tricks for us.
Well, the news was not good. My mystery hero said that my clutch cable was not fixable, and the nearest shop is 2.5 hours away. And I don't even think that you can get a motorcycle towed, so I started pushing. That's right. No, I'm not kidding. I started pushing the motorcycle, and I pushed it all the way into the back of this guy's truck with the help of another random dude who pulled over to help us push the bike in. And I feel like I'm still just trying to process the fact that I was stuck at this gas station for 0 time. Literally the first person that I approached was like, "Hey, you know how to fix the clutch cable?" He was just like, "Oh yeah, this one's fucked. Get in my truck." And that truck was stuffed with stuff. He was not prepared for a passenger, but he still drove me the 2.5 hours away to get this clutch cable from some random motorcycle shop.
There was this poor motorcycle guy from Anchorage, Alaska, and he busted his clutch cable had packed in. So I'm going to run him up to Shales on my way home here.
Okay.
The shop with the clutch cable closed at 5 o'clock, and we literally showed up at 5:02, and they were standing there with the clutch cable in their hands like, "Get this shit and get the fuck out." Though, unfortunately, because they were about to close, I now had the clutch cable, but still had to figure out how to put it in. And I'd love to say that this is where Keith saved me again, and he brought me back to his place and fixed the bike, but that's not how it went down. Keith informed me that he'd have to feed me dinner and introduce me to his family before we could start working on the bike. So I guess we could do that. So I washed up from my long day on the road and had some delicious Canadian pizza, and then we got to work on fixing that clutch cable. All right, I'm at my new best friend's house. We have a new clutch cable, and we're gonna
see about getting it installed. We just got the bike off of this pickup truck. It was really hard.
And ironically, it was actually pretty easy to install the new cable, but I think there's no way that I would have figured it out without completely freaking out if I was stuck on the side of the road. But after some strategic yanking, and using a little bit of the knowledge that I gained when I was breaking it worse earlier in the day.
Okay, see you on. So yeah, now we just need this thing, and it's just a clutch now, right? We just apply, we just weight her up.
We got it all back together. Keith even topped me up with coolant.
Can you tell me when you start to see it?
I see it. And I was ready to hit the road. But first, Keith had one more gift to bestow upon me. He fulfilled my lifelong dream to kickstart an antique bike. He mentioned that he had an old kickstart bike, and I told him that I'd always wanted to try one, and he was sure that I would hate it, but it was very fun.
Ooh. Kicks back!
Not supposed to, but it does.
Do I hit the throttle when I?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, hello there. I'm just enjoying an extremely luxurious bath in my new best friend's house, where I will also be sleeping because we worked quite late into the night trying to fix that clutch cable. But it is fixed! I tried really hard to get him to let me give them some money, and I failed. He kept hitting me with all those all-time classics, like, what else could I possibly have done? Like, bitch, you could have left me. You could have left me. No one's gonna believe me that this even actually happened. But it did, and I'm exhausted, so I'm going to enjoy this extremely nice entire apartment that this guy is letting me stay in. You can fuck off. I don't know what the etiquette is when you just stay in a stranger's house for a night, so I remade the bed, and I didn't really touch anything else, so hopefully they think I'm a good house guest. So obviously I did not get to my intended destination yesterday. It's Sunday now, and I need to be in Boise, Idaho for my work event tomorrow. So plan is to do an extra long, like 10-hour day, cross the border, and get all the way there today, and then I will be caught back up for the trip. It's gonna be a long one. I'm just sat here waiting for my new best friend to wake up so that we can ride out together.
You got a good story to tell.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, no one's even gonna believe me.
Approach some guy in this middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you just lucked out there.
But I mean, Boston Bar of all places.
Alright, well, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Keith's ancient kickstart bike started right away, and shockingly, my bike would not start. This wasn't just one of those, I have to fire it up twice because I forgot to turn the choke on the first time. It was just not starting. But then it just did, so probably fine. And so we set off onto some really nice twisty roads that reminded me a lot of like rural Pennsylvania. But after not too long, we had to go our separate ways, and I was once again alone. Well, not completely alone.
Eagle-eyed viewers will remember Peter was missing. Can't do my border crossing without Peter. And I think we'll point Peter down so that he's less of a graphic sex symbol and more of an anatomically depressing object. This bike better fucking start right now. I cannot with this shit.
Apparently I was very close to the border, and the border guy did not give a shit about my hilarious dildo.
It was just here, just all your clothes and stuff.
Yeah, just usual,
Your
no, nothing
food,
weird.
Alcohol, tobacco, weapons.
It was quite nice having finished the last border crossing of the trip, and the roads were very nice, but I did have one small problem.
Alright, quick sit-rep. I'm in America, and I assumed I would have service when I got to America, so I didn't download offline maps for Washington State, but I don't have service, and I don't even have location, so I cannot navigate. But I know I have to basically go through Seattle, so I assume if I keep going probably south, eventually there'll be signs for Seattle, and if I can get there, then I'll definitely have it.
Much like the bike not starting in the morning, the GPS problem eventually just solved itself and I pushed on towards Boise. Making pretty good time. We're going up into this super cool, like, foggy mountain, which, while cool, is really fucking cold. So I'm stopped to warm up, get some lunch and some fuel. I also got a sticker and put on all my thermals when I stopped, which turns out to be pointless because literally 5 minutes later I was jump scared by the actual freaking desert. So I just stopped again and had to take it all off.
This is the skin of the killer bill.
Literally like 20 minutes ago, I was in that like mountainy foresty place. And now I'm in like fucking Iraq.
After very gracefully getting down that hill, I tried to get back on the road, but the bike was not enjoying the heat.
It is hot. I have a very small mechanical issue to deal with on the motorcycle. The mirrors are not staying where I put them. They keep going. Peter stays exactly where I put him, but the mirrors have reflectile dysfunction. I don't know if it was caused by like thermal cycling from going from the cold to the hot, or if it's just loosening up or there's a headwind, but I think I just have to tighten this screw. Pretty firm. Okay, well this one's just fully fucking loose. So now this is moving. That's probably not good. Everything is just melting in the freaking heat. How do you even tighten that? Is it this? Okay, I'm just gonna leave that as it is. It's the bar itself isn't moving, it's just the clutch assembly and everything, so I think I can still ride safely.
The bike wasn't the only thing suffering in the heat. My body was fully shutting down, and I thanked the Lord when I finally saw some water.
This is bringing me so much joy. Swim, swim, swim. Swim, swim, swim. I hope I can still touch the floor. Nope. Gotta go back.
Got like 3.5, 4 hours left, so meaningfully more than halfway through. Probably gonna get in kind of late tonight, but I was in the desert for so long. And then literally seeing water finally. It's like 90 degrees. I'm acclimated to like 30-degree Yukon weather, so it feels extra hot.
And while I was swimming, I decided this is probably a good time to explore and try to find some food.
Well, apparently I'm in Oregon, and you know you're lost when you don't even know what state you're in. I ended up in some sort of rodeo gimmick town, and apparently there's a motorcycle restaurant like across the street. And I don't know what a motorcycle restaurant is, but I will learn.
The motorcycle restaurant was sweet, and they gave me a sticker. But at this point, I had left 12 hours ago, so I was just feeling the strain of what felt like a day that would just never end. And it did not help when the weather finally betrayed me.
I've not gotten rained on yet, but I saw lightning in the distance, and the road keeps getting wetter and wetter. So I am protected.
I am so glad I stopped because I got absolutely blasted as soon as the sun went down. Fortunately though, it was a pretty brief blasting, and then I was just kind of riding through the night until finally I made it to Boise. Well, now that we're in Boise, I am officially pretty much exactly halfway through the journey. And I hope that that was the exciting half, because this has been fucking crazy. I'm gonna be staying here for an entire week, so I've got plenty of time to rest and reset while I'm at this work event. I'm also gonna like do my laundry, gonna work on the bike, I'm gonna change the oil, fix that weird spinning thingy on the handlebars. I'm gonna take it to a shop and get new tires and new brake pads, because I have destroyed the tires that are on there right now. And The previous owner said that he checked the brake pads, but given that basically everything else on the bike has broken and I still really don't like how the front brake feels, I'm gonna definitely just have them replaced.
1 week later.
All right, sit rep. I found no one in this town who could get me tires or brake pads, so I'm just gonna have to keep rolling on the tires as they are. Not an abundance of tread. The back is like, was like this deep. It's down to just a little baby bit. I have an appointment in a couple days in like one of my future towns to get some random mismatched tires that'll probably fit. In the meantime, I was going to do an oil change myself while I was in town, but I was briefly hospitalized for eating a cashew, which I knew I was allergic to and did not eat on purpose, but I did not know that I was that allergic, and that was very scary. So really, all I have time to do, since I was planning on doing a bunch of this stuff last night, is I'm just gonna fix this this guy that keeps spinning so that it doesn't like go up and down anymore, and then yeah, load the bike back up and get on the road. We're camping tonight, so we got to get in before dark. I'm gonna try loosening it up. I think about there is good. I think the torque spec on this is 1 ugga dugga. And my near-death experience was not the only tragedy that befell us while I was in Boise. And I don't even really want to tell you this, but I lost Peter.
I'm sorry, well, I'm not sorry. I'm blue, and I want to stay forever. Let my lungs fill up. Time to go and make up words together. Feel like a jumbledy.
So, we're once again alone. All right, it is hot. I hope it's not this hot in Yellowstone, because I am camping tonight.
Since it was so warm, I actually decided to ship back a bunch of my thermal stuff so I wouldn't have to keep carrying it for the whole trip. And I definitely wouldn't be regretting that decision.
I think I'm gonna die.
I always notice when I'm in cities that aren't like major metropolitan areas that as soon as you leave the city part of the city, you're just like immediately in the middle of nowhere. And that was extra the case today, as I was basically instantly dumped in the desert, and then the road also stopped being road again. And you might be thinking like, oh, he's just being a silly goose, going off-road again, trying to be crazy. But no, this is the like Google Maps Boise to Yellowstone avoid highways route. And I am not complaining. That shit was so fun.
Holy shit. Look at all this. It is so quiet here. Like, at least in the Yukon, there was like wind and water and stuff, but like, there's just nothing.
And so I continued on into the literal fucking desert, and I was having the time of my life on this extremely inappropriate vehicle in this extremely inappropriate environment. I did have one small problem though.
You know, before I left, I was like, I'll just stop for water at like the first rest stop I see. I don't need to fill up at the hotel. Whoops. But apparently I'm riding the actual freaking Oregon Trail. Is that like where you die of dysentery? This is so awesome! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Really, the only downside I was seeing to riding in the sand all day is that these bald-ass tires were not up to the task of stopping every time I saw something interesting. But soon enough, I was back on pavement, and shortly after that, I found a town to stop in for supplies. And on the way out, for some reason, I chose the most obnoxious way to get out of the parking lot.
I was just driving along and I saw all these weird rocks and I couldn't even figure out what they were. I thought maybe they were like dark bushes, but apparently it's whatever this is. Look! So many weird rocks. I don't know if you're supposed to be in it, but I'm definitely taking one. A tiny one though. I don't think anyone will notice. Dude, look at the floor here. It's like, I don't even know. It's like not dirt, not sand, not gravel. It's like special goo. My one coworker's girlfriend was like, the ride to Yellowstone sucks. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to see, and like, hard disagree. It has been very nice. There's a suspicious amount of clouds in the direction I'm going. The sun's getting suspiciously low. The last gas stop of the day, hour and 15 minutes left to go.
A few inches later.
Man, it was like a light switch. I got out of the like open plains and into the forest, and it's immediately cold. I need my warm jacket. I'm hoping it doesn't get much colder than this, because I got rid of all my thermal shit already.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which suggestions or warnings about events to come are dropped or planted.
Somehow I made it to Yellowstone before dark, which apparently has a toll to get in, but it was worth, because it was gorgeous.
Look, it's the steamy water. Just like on TV. It's doing the thing. Just like the gypsy woman said.
Just like the gypsy woman said.
There's a little baby one next to the big one.
Well, Yellowstone is very distracting, so much for getting in before dark.
All right, I just checked in for my campsite. It's pitch black, obviously. It's freezing cold. Apparently it's gonna be like 20 degrees tonight. So I bought a throw blanket to stuff in my sleeping bag and some thermal, like some woolly socks, so hopefully I don't die. I don't know what my sleeping bag is rated to, but it ain't 20 degrees. It's not gonna get any more pitch black out, so there's no reason to rush to make camp. But the camp store is gonna close, so I'm gonna get some firewood. So I'm walking back up. It's kind of far. Yeah, it's gonna be a night.
You say I got a real small bag you can use.
I think I got
sufficient
pockets.
Probably easier to carry it that way anyway.
Yeah. All I've eaten today is a burger and a protein bar. So I've got some food from the camp store. I'm gonna have dinner.
Yum, yum, yum.
Well, I could only procrastinate for so long, and eventually I had to actually make camp.
All right, looks like a tent, maybe. Is this all the strings? Okay, so this would be the sticks. Now where are... Oh, thank God. I haven't actually looked at this tent since I was a Boy Scout. I just found it in my parents' house. Okay, this would be the end of the stick. Let's see how long the sticks are. One of them is indeed long. I imagine the long one goes by the door. We insert. Okay. Now I just need to put the sticks in the ground and figure out what this string does. Please tell me this is large enough for an adult man. They don't make these just for children, right? It's gonna be tight. What is this for? I mean, that's a tent, right? I don't know what this is for. How do I have extra pieces? It's so dirty in here. It's like 15-year-old camping dust.
Feeling pretty good. I got all my riding gear off, got the fire, got some food. I did specifically book a campsite that was supposed to have cell service. I do not have cell service, but other than that, life is good.
All right, it's getting cold enough that it's even cold by the fire, so I'm gonna put the fire out and try to settle in for bed, I guess. It's quite cozy. Quite intimate in here, isn't it? So it did indeed get quite cold, but I did not die. I guess it's time to explore and see where the frick we are. It's like being born.
Well, in the harsh light of day, I could hardly be said to be roughing it out here. There's an entire cafeteria and a museum, literally walking distance from where I'm camped. Though I do still have no service, so I got a map, and I'm gonna try to figure out some sort of route for today to see the things that I want to see. So we are here at Canyon Village, which I booked because Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone seems cool, and the real Grand Canyon was too far to put on this trip. So I think we try to find that, and then obviously I want to see Old Faithful, so I think we then do a loop down this way, and maybe just do like a loop as the day. I don't know how long that'll take, so we'll call that the plan.
So far, all your dreams and learn your lessons, and then I swear I'll never take you for granted. Come on down, come on down. I'll go the distance, yeah.
There is no way I can convey to you how bad this smells.
Right this instant, to you I prove devotion, and I almost sound convincing. So far, all your dreams and learn your lessons, and then I swear I'll never take
Alright, that's enough messing around up here. I saw a sign that says the lake is like 16 miles away, so like 15 or 20 minutes, which makes Old Faithful probably an hour?
Look at that! Look at it!
These times they're for nothing if we let them go
I was just riding along thinking about how I wanted to see the Continental Divide and I wasn't sure where it was and I was probably gonna miss it. And then look! This is it? I don't know what it is. It's like one of those things you're supposed to see, right? Do you want to be my friend? Why not?
All I need is you to rely on. So follow all your dreams and learn your lessons. And then I swear I'll always stay with you forever.
So I literally just happened to stumble across Old Faithful like 2 minutes before it went off. In theory, halfway through our day, though I think we've done most of the stops already. Started here, made it here. So plan is just finish the loop out. I think I can get back in time to get some food at the cafeteria and then maybe shower and just chill at the campsite.
And for once, everything actually went according to plan. I got back in time to get some food at the cafeteria, and then I read by the fire for a long, long time. And eventually I retired to my tent to relax.
Well, the tent successfully resisted the rain. I unfortunately left all my riding gear out, but it was a light enough rain that nothing's really soaked.
I know putting away a tent wet is bad form, but I'm camping again tonight, so I will get the chance to air it out very soon.
So I specifically downloaded offline maps for this bit. However, apparently I was wrong about what state Yellowstone is in, or at least the part that I'm in. So we have no access to maps, and we gotta get to Mount Rushmore. So I think, similar to when we first got to Washington State, I'm just gonna head vaguely in the right direction, like south and west. And presumably once I get out of the park, I'll get some service and then we'll be fine.
It was so cold this morning, so while everyone else was constantly stopping to take more of their precious pictures, I was just pushing on, trying to get anywhere but here, hoping that it would be slightly warmer. And I was almost seduced by some very crazy views, but I pushed on until it finally got warmer.
It was so cool! We were going downhill for so long, it was like below 40 at the top, and now it's like 60, so like 20 degrees warmer just from going down. I still don't have service, but that's okay. There's still no turns to do, so I just gotta keep going this way anyway.
When I was planning this trip, I was pretty sure that once I got down to the lower 48, it would just be kind of boring, but I was still seeing some of the most incredible scenery of the whole trip. Like, I don't know where I was or what it's called, but it was just so picturesque. And then I passed this huge lake, and there was this giant dam with a little museum attached. The dam people gave me a new sticker for my helmet, and this place has service, where I found out I was unfortunately 6.5 hours away from our destination, though the scenic Avoid Highways route is only 7 hours, so at least I should be able to enjoy the riding. And that riding began with my favorite thing, another tunnel! And if you were enjoying the views before the tunnel as much as I was, well...
I hope you're hungry for nothing. Now!
That's right, we are officially in the Midwest, and out here they only get 2 channels, flat and straight. And, oh, nope, I'm getting something. Oh my god. This just in, we've got a slow sweeping turn coming up. Brace yourselves! I did at least get to see some animals. There was lots of cows and a pig. And then there was a very suspicious looking storm in the distance, so I decided to stop for lunch at a windowless building.
Is this it? Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Doing good. Is food happening?
That place was crazy. I found a rock in my chili, and halfway through the meal, one of the servers came out and was like, she said to the other server, she's like, is it out here too? And she was like, what? And she was like, the blood. There was like blood all over the floor. Possibly not my best choice.
Shockingly, the storm was not scared off by the rock in my chili, and though it did keep seeming like maybe the road was gonna turn and go away from the storm, eventually it was pretty obvious that,
We're going in! Everyone to battle stations!
And that's how Regina George died. No, I'm totally kidding.
Bad news about the tent.
How you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because...
Alright, motherfucker!
as you can see, I was kind of hyped to finally use my rain gear for something other than being a little cold. And it was warm enough that I was honestly not even that worried about getting wet. But remember at the beginning of the day when I was really excited about going downhill and everything got really warm? Well, we started going up, and up, and up, until we reached the peak of the mountain, which had a small problem.
Well, I'm on top of a mountain, and it's snowing, and I think I'm gonna die. And I waved at someone and they just waved back. Whatever you wave to warm up for a minute.
After sitting in that guy's very warm car for probably longer than he wanted, and finding out it was 22 fucking degrees out, I pretty much just had to start riding and hope that I got off the mountain before I died. And I was busting out all of the tricks to try to stay warm. I was doing squats in my seat. I was sitting on my hands because they were literally completely numb. And I knew that if I stopped, I would just get colder because I was soaking wet, and it was 22 fucking degrees out. And I know that you're watching this and you already know that I probably survived because I made this film, but I don't know that while it's happening. I'm just like every single day like, oh, I wonder if this is the thing that makes me tragically die on this trip, because it sure feels like it. But fortunately, eventually we did go down, and I ended up in a town that did not have paved roads, but did fortunately have heat.
Oh, that was fucking crazy. I can't believe that guy let me sit in his car for a while. It is significantly warmer down here, but still raining. The real problem is, at this rate, assuming I don't stop for dinner or anything, I'm gonna get to camp at like 9 p.m., but I don't think I can go to camp at 9 p.m. The camp at the last place, I got in like 15 minutes before they closed, which is like 8:15. So, I don't know what the plan is for tonight. Probably go to camp, see if they'll let me in, and then motel back up. I wouldn't be that mad about sleeping indoors tonight, particularly given that my tent was shredded by my brake disc.
How dirty I got. All my shit's all wet. What's left of the tent is still here, though.
After a desperate attempt to dry the one thing on me that I could possibly get dry in a gas station bathroom, I was back on the road. And presented in front of me on one side was an ominous-ass storm cloud, and on the other side was a gorgeous rainbow. Can you guess which one the road led to?
No! 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 Final fuel stop's done. Now there's just one giant block of severe thunderstorm warning between me and camp.
Well, the good news is I was able to enjoy a gorgeous Midwest sunset. The bad news is afterwards I had to enjoy the thing that comes after sunset. My headlight was so bad I had to actually block my view of the illuminated dashboard so that I could get enough night vision to see the dark ass shit that my headlight was not illuminating. And I was still in the habit of stopping anytime I saw someone that might need help because I needed fucking karma. And I was using it all, constantly asking people for help.
I need a gas, but my dog is in the cluster.
Oh, so you guys ready? Somebody went to go get gas already?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, good. Just making sure.
Thank you so much.
All right, stay safe, brother.
Yeah. Beautiful bucket.
And my karma farming totally worked because I made it to camp. And there was nobody there, obviously, but nobody there means nobody to stop me from camping.
All right, let's see what the damage is on this tent. It can't be that bad. It's probably gonna rain and thunder more tonight, so even a small hole could suck. So they give you this like pad, but it's hard. I'm not gonna be able to put a tent post into that. Maybe I just go over here? I don't know if that's allowed. Well, I'm gonna do it anyway, plus a little extra cover from the tree won't hurt. Huge news. Big hole here, which is just above more tent. I'm pretty sure that doesn't matter. Some holes here, also above tent. Little tear here, probably fine. This is probably the most annoying. So there's that little hole in the base, but like, assuming that there's not so much water that water's coming in through the fucking floor, I mean, I'll survive a light rain. Well, this is about the exact opposite of Yellowstone. This campground is deserted. Fortunately, I prepared and got some ready-to-eat canned food way back when I was in Boise, just in case one of the days I was camping I didn't have access to food. So that's dinner, tent set up, Mount Rushmore tomorrow. Better be fucking worth it. They better have added a 5th guy. Is Obama on there yet? Who the heck are these guys? Well, the bike has decided that I'm always going 0 miles an hour in neutral now, which is cool, especially because that also stops the odometer from going, which stops me from being able to track how many miles I've gone and know when I need gas. But that'll probably be fine.
So I applied my souvenir sticker and stopped into the National Wax Museum, and when I left, things were not looking good.
Well, apparently I left the keys in the ignition and the bike on, but at least I got this sweet, sexy Ben Franklin sticker, and it's raining again.
I'm not gonna lie, after getting rained on all yesterday and almost freezing to death, the prospect of more rain today was not helping my mental health.
It's time, and it's time.
Fuck! Fuck! It's just cold and wet and straight. Ah! The lightning doesn't even make noise! Okay, that one made a little noise.
Fortunately, not too long later, I finally made it to my one point of interest for the day, where I was mercifully able to at least park my bike under a little awning and try to have some fun.
You know, this is pretty much the single point of interest in the trip that I was most looking forward to. And I really thought it was gonna cheer me up, but now that I'm here, it's really just making me think one thing.
meaning of Carhenge. It's killing me that no one knows why it was built 5,000 years ago. Why did they build the Carhenge? How could they raise the cars so high, completely without the technology we have today?
Alright, I guess that was okay.
I did manage to eventually outrun the storm, but that bitch was right on my tail right up until I finally got to my accommodations for the night.
Well, every trip has to have a worst day, and that was definitely the worst day of this trip. Nothing could be worse than that. It's just so long and uncomfortable and boring. Like, if it was any worse, it would have at least been interesting. So it was literally the worst possible day. It's so soggy and gross. But we get new tires tomorrow morning.
The next morning, I was still hopeful that the day would be nice, despite all appearances to the contrary.
And if you've ever wondered what burning feet smells like, smells like that. These bitches are bald. Maybe a day away from being perfectly smooth. Like, look at that. Remember, the tread started this deep. And it's, I mean, an immeasurable amount. 1/1,000,000th of an inch.
Since I was getting new tires anyway, I decided to fulfill one of my other childhood dreams of doing a burnout. Like I said, fulfill my childhood dream of driving away normally. Over at the bike shop, they grabbed me some tires and put those bitches on in record time, which was too fast because it still hadn't stopped raining.
It's supposed to stop at noon. It's 11:45 right now. So I'll give it 15 minutes and then brave the wet. You know, being wet kind of sucks, but it's the getting wet that really sucks. Like, I'm just so resistant to get out. But I must go. I have places to be and things to see. The weather ain't good, but we got some brand new sport bike tires on this thing. They are basically racing slicks, so they will burn away pretty quick, but we're at least safe.
Lucky for me, while the weather was bad, my first stop was actually like 5 minutes down the road.
I specifically stopped in this town because of this museum. I don't really know what it's about, but it was the only thing in this entire state that seemed interesting. And look! I get to go into a tunnel! So they give you this like radio thing and you point it at the numbers, and then you like listen to it like a phone, and it tells you history.
That's why you rest up. We got a long day ahead of us.
Despite the fact that it was rudely even pretending to rain inside this fictional tunnel, I was having a good time posing with the mannequins and listening to all the funny voice acting.
I'm bored. I've seen this picture before.
So, go get me a strawberry milkshake, you pest.
What's with you? All I'm doing is combing my hair.
It's possible this is obvious, but this whole thing is the archway that we saw on the highway. It's like, we're going across the highway. There's trucks down there. Whoop. Need Windows Update. I don't know what I was expecting from that, but that was extremely worth. That was so cool. And it's like, kind of getting sunny. Life is good. And if it rains again, I'll just
unalive
myself.
And so I set off for my 450-mile, 7-hour trip to Iowa City, and let me tell you, I was not enjoying Nebraska. I was ready to be gone. It's such a shithole, you can't even get food in the cities.
Well, I was hoping to make it to Omaha, but I'm in Lincoln. And I'm really hungry. I have no idea how far I just went or how fast I was going, but tires feel smooth. Ugh. Literally everything in this town is a bar and is closed right now. And I did not realize until I started walking around, but my ass is sopping wet. I must have sucked up all the juices from the seat on the ride over.
Eventually, I had to literally give up on finding food in this actual full-sized American city, and I just headed to Omaha anyway, because there was a giant bridge I wanted to see there. And I swear when I looked it up originally, this was like the longest pedestrian bridge, or had some sort of blankiest blank quality to it. But apparently no. The Bob Carey pedestrian bridge is just a bridge. Its only blankiest blank is that it's the bridgiest bridge connecting two states that completely suck ass.
Well, that's the last stop before Iowa City. We got like 4 hours left. It looks like we're gonna get in around like 9. I can't say I'm enthused by the prospect of 4 straight hours on Route 80 in the middle of the Midwest, but I just gotta get there at this point.
The bike must have sensed that I needed a pick-me-up, because when I set off, it had a surprise for me.
Shows that I'm moving! We can stop. False alarm.
Sure, maybe I couldn't tell how fast I was going, but Iowa was way prettier than Nebraska, so I was feeling pretty good. And yeah, eventually it did start to get dark and very, very rainy, but I think there was just something about being in actual civilization at this point where like there was street signs and street lights and other cars that just made this feel less horrible than the other days. And even when it got bad enough that I literally couldn't see anything, I was able to just ride next to a big truck and use their headlights. And I think the rain realized that it wasn't pissing me off anymore, because eventually it gave up and went home, so I arrived in Iowa City exhausted, but mostly dry. And I was pretty excited to be back. I briefly lived in Iowa City, but I haven't been back in like 10 years.
8 hours later.
You gotta be kidding me.
Is there a drought in your area? Give me a call and I'll show up and it'll start fucking raining! Fucking raining! Fucking raining! Fucking raining!
It actually wasn't really raining, which is good because I had a side quest to achieve at
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'll beg you to stay here. He's like the dad I'm glad I don't have.
You know what? You're the son I never wanted and never will have.
That's fair.
It's the road trip special. Oil change in the car parts store parking lot. So I believe this is the drain plug, and this is where the filter is. I think if you take that off, some more oil comes out. I think I'm just gonna try to drain it with the plug though. Almost forgot. Oil's gonna come out of that. Well, I guess that's just attached to that now. I think I am gonna open up that other compartment just to make sure everything's out of there. The oil's not actually that dark, but can't hurt to change it. I've done like 5,000 miles. Previous owner said it was like at least 1,000 since the last change. Oh yeah, there's more. There's more juice. Extra sauce. So I think I've shaken out all the oil I can. I'm gonna plug her back up and then fill her up. It's starting to drizzle, and I'm pretty sure you don't want water in the oil, so we gotta hurry. I think there's supposed to be a little washer on this. Is that this? To stop it from leaking? I guess I'll hope that that's on there, and I'll just give it the old ugga-dugga when I put it on. Now I got my wet manual, which will tell me how much oil to put in. I believe it's 3.7 quarts. Routine maintenance, 26. 3.9 quarts, pretty much 4 of these. Now in theory, without the filter change, it'll take slightly less than 3.9. Damn it. All right, that's most of the 4th one. Well, I don't see oil in the sight glass, but I'm just gonna use the rest of this one, and then I'll run it for a minute. This thing burns oil, so if I overfill it a little, in a few days it'll be low again.
Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! SpongeBob, careful! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!
Well, not as neat as I would have liked, but I'm doing my best. I have a feeling I was low on oil because I put 4 quarts in as per spec, but I only got 2.5 out. You guys dispose of used oil, yes?
We do. Yeah.
I've got some for you. Tools are put away. I have an extra quart, just like I had in the beginning of the trip, to top up if necessary. And all that's left to do is go look at my old apartment and fuck off. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Dude, that was it right there. 2nd floor on the left. We had a little balcony and everything. I would park out here. Damn. And people never believe me when I say that I lived in Iowa City in a big apartment development and it's surrounded by corn. Look at this shit. Apartments, corn. Like, this is just what Iowa is. It's just cornfields everywhere. Look, like, I'm in the big city in an apartment complex. Where's the frickin' city? It's corn. The city's corn. And as we leave, more corn. Corn, and corn. Direct route today is like 6 hours. Avoid highways like 8. I think I'm gonna do avoid highways. Highways was so boring yesterday. And when I lived here, I never really explored like the backcountry of Iowa. I feel like it'd be really pretty and have lots of cute, tiny towns and stuff. Plus, that's 8 hours of doing the speed limit. And I can go 0 miles per hour as fast as I want. And if you thought the bridge yesterday was the only cool bridge we're going to in Iowa, well, think again, idiot, because this is... What? No, I'm doing the piece to camera right now. This is not the right bridge. This is the bridge that we're going to today. It's so bouncy. Ugh.
And with that, I set off into the Iowa countryside, and you're not gonna believe this, but I saw some corn. And I also saw corn. And these roads were so long and straight and flat, you didn't even have to pay attention. You could go on your phone and play Tetris, you could ride in the wrong lane, nothing matters here. You couldn't crash even if you wanted to. I was getting so bored, I would literally cheer anytime I saw something that wasn't corn. But damn it, that's what I signed up for. I'm here to see the corn. And then they dare try and stop me from seeing my corn?
Yeah, that road ain't closed. Oh.
Did you see that? I had to slightly turn twice to go around those signs. That's too much for me. I need a break.
It's hot. It's real hot. Well, it's at least not raining anymore. This is definitely better. But it's really hot.
You know it's hot out.
It's hot.
Yeah, you know it's hot too.
And furthermore, it's hot.
I know, I'm just saying, it's hot too. Lacey is still getting on JB's nerves. And he's getting on his nerves too.
Unrelated to the hotness, but the exhaust has started to eat the bag. I thought this would have been a problem sooner. I don't know why it's just started. It must be like sagging more. Maybe it's compressed the seat, and I can't get it to really move over. So hopefully the exhaust is full now, satisfied with its meal.
I continued exploring the countryside for a bit, and I even found the only turn in all of Iowa. But then the sun started going down, and as usual, I arrived at my accommodation late as hell, which was a bit of a problem because
no one's here.
However, this time I decided to just let myself in and pick a room in this dark, creepy-ass house.
Oh, and the door's not even shut. Convenient. It would appear that all of the doors in the whole place are all open. Dude, I haven't seen a single human being since I got here. And this is supposed to be a bed and breakfast, and this is breakfast. An old Keurig. Woo! This is still pretty on the exhaust. I'm gonna try adding another strap here. Right here. Which somehow makes it worse. Let's like strap it forward, maybe up here. I feel like that's gonna be in the way of my foot. Slightly annoying, but it is much less touching, so good enough to get me home. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear the race cars from my hotel thingy.
And I tried to go see the race cars, but apparently you can't just go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so I just grabbed a souvenir sticker and then got even more bad news.
Well, the avoid highways route is really, really long. And I've kind of seen enough of the Midwest anyway, so I think I'm just gonna straight highways to Pittsburgh and call it a day. And then at that point, I'm pretty much home. So, I don't know. You're just gonna have to come up with some way to entertain yourself. I can't help you.
Honestly, I can't believe you actually thought I lost Peter. I mean, what kind of person loses a
I'm sorry, oh, I'm not sorry.
Okay, this time Peter was actually lost. And really nothing else interesting happened all day. It was just a blur of riding on the highway, getting gas, getting back on the highway, getting more gas, still being on the freaking highway, posing in front of Uranus, back on the highway, and then a little bit of antiquing. I did briefly get jump scared by seeing the sign for West Virginia, which I did not think I would be going through. But eventually I was in Pittsburgh and then at the accommodation.
To the end, the code is so long. 9, 8, 5, 7, 7, 8, 7, 8, 8, 7, 9, 1, 1. I got the door open. Find your key. So I was upgraded to a room with a private bathroom, which has no toilet paper. Add to my list of grievances, I connected to their Wi-Fi and it has no internet. But this is the last accommodation, so the next accommodation will be very nice because it will be my house.
I'm still not sure if I was technically allowed to park my motorcycle in the bicycle storage here, but I did, and I escaped before anybody yelled at me.
Man, I can't believe I'm setting off for the final time. I really thought I'd be homesick by now, but I'm feeling good. If I didn't have a job, I would stay on the road forever.
You know I'm a slut for a blankiest blank, so before returning to my normal life, I had one more thing I wanted to see: the steepest street in the United States.
It is quite steep. It's one of those things that definitely won't come across on video, but it's real steep. I mean, can you tell? Can you tell how much I'm trudging this shit? I wanted to come do this just kind of to do it, to ride up and down it. But with how bad the brakes are on this bike, it's kind of scary. Look at that. It's like a cliff. Though, I feel like I haven't really demonstrated how bad the brakes are on this bike. So this will be a good opportunity to do that. All right, first we gotta go up. This feels crazy. It's like going up a roller coaster. All right, now I'm gonna try going down front brake only. Do not enter. That's fine. All right, I'm on the front brake. I'm fully on the front brake. Still doing 6 miles an hour. Losing traction a bit. Struggling to stay to the left. Up to 10. Woo! Literally barely stopped.
And now I know what you're thinking. That doesn't look that crazy. But lucky for me, the Amazon man showed up to demonstrate that this shit is fucking steep.
Dude, the fucking Amazon guy's gonna get stuck. He's not gonna make it. Dude, no way is he actually stuck. He's coming back. No way. You couldn't make it?
I couldn't make it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I saw you stop. I was like, oh no. Stay safe. All right, I want to do one more run with the rear brake. There's an interesting thing about the rear brake that I feel like this would be good for demonstrating. So the rear brake kind of pulses, which is indicative of the disc not being flat. It's like bowed, like a Pringle instead of a vinyl record, I guess. And I think that'll be kind of noticeable here. Yeah, see how I'm just solidly on the brake, and I'm like getting no brake and then brake and then no brake and then brake. It's like jerking me as we go down. Though I feel vindicated in my claim that the front brake is fucked up because I'm much better able to control my speed here. Easily keeping it below 5 miles an hour, even with the pulsing and sliding. Ooh. So yeah, that's what I've been dealing with on brakes. I'm gonna go get a tattoo. So I'm getting a palm piece, which means it's gonna be hard to like pull the clutch. And I thought about kind of like trying to pull it like without really grabbing the bar. And then I remembered I can make something. So I'm thinking there's like a zip tie on the clutch to hold that. And then another one as like a range extender. And then one at the end that I can pull with like one finger. And then I think one more on the bar just so it doesn't flap around too much and I can get to it easily. And then it still can go through that. And for the true luxury experience, I'll even pad the end with electrical tape so it's pleasant on the finger. So instead of having to do this or this, I can just do that. Worst case, I obviously still can use my hand.
All that was left to do is get drawed on and fire up my itty-bitty GPS one last time.
So satisfying to just tap the little home button for my navigation today. 5.5 hours. Hand feels exactly like when you like fall and catch yourself on like concrete and you get a little bit of that road burn. All right. System seems to work.
Let me tell you, it was not luxurious riding around the city with my stupid ass zip tie clutch thing. But honestly, once I got on the highway, it really wasn't that bad. I mostly just rode with one hand and it was kind of annoying when I would stop for gas, I guess.
I feel like this should go without saying, but it's kind of hard to ride with only one hand. Like usually I'm like holding onto the handlebars to hold onto the bike, but I can't really do that with one hand because then I'll just end up turning. So I'm like squeezing the tank with my knees and like using my core to support myself. And it's kind of tiring. It also feels kind of like riding a horse, like I'm holding reins on the left. Also, this is definitely the last gas stop of the whole trip. Very nearly over. Still not in New Jersey yet, but presumably close.
I was not indeed that close, so I rode into the night one last time, and then I was finally home. What are you doing here? The film is over. Do I strike you as the type of person who's gonna have some sort of deep, thought-provoking conclusion about lessons learned along the way? No!
There's no one listening, so I guess I can say I sometimes watch the news just to see if we're okay. Invariably, nowhere bloody numb. And I sometimes get the sense that we don't pretend to know. So here's the scoop: we're better than we've ever been, and no one's seen a better life, no one's seen a brighter light. So here's the headline: we're safer than we've ever been, and more eyes means a better sight. That does not mean the ramble fights. So here's the scoop: